Welcome back to Brutal Mode EX Plus. This is part 7 of the Brutal Mode EX Plus mod, the mod that makes the game much harder. I suggest you watch the previous parts first since most things are changed. A preface that 7.5 is skipped because of a glitch in the level that prevents me from beating it. Which brings us to 7.6, where we are brought back to the rooftop. So, what's so bad about this?
Hello there.
This level brings us back the contend pea shooter zombies. Pretty sure you know the strategy that we are essentially forced to use as for dealing with these guys again. So again, we use garlics to protect 2 rows of our sunflowers first, and we sacrifice all our roof cleaners to get a jump start on our economy pretty nicely. However, there is another zombie this level which prevents the strategy from working. In comes Michael Jackson. Garlic will not stop him from spawning backup dancers in our sunflower rows and chewing them right up with no way to stop them apart from Doomshroom. Because if you remember, once Michael Jackson dies, the backup dancer behind him transforms into a new Michael Jackson. So we're going to need something else here. I thought, since it's daytime now, unlike in previous contend pea shooter zombie levels like 6.6, why not just play Tallnut Spam to infinitely stall out the early game zombies? Well, that's because you ain't stalling out zombies since, 1, you end up spending so much on planting tall nuts, you can still never afford any actual attackers, so the strategy is futile. And moreover, these tall nuts aren't particularly great against the angry dancers which dance right past them because, well, they are angry dancers. Also, the wildlife crossing pole vaulter jumps 2 tiles, so a tall nut is completely unable to block them off, just like the pole vaulters from the original Brutal Mode. So, tall nut is a bust. The other problem is just buckethead zombies in this level. Target zombies make it extremely difficult to pull off the instant kill spam strategy with all the buff zombies it spawns. Last time, I told you to wait for me to explain where the vases came from, so just take a look at what the target zombie spawns right here.
Bruh.
Catapult Zombie's new variant in World 7 now lobs phases and instantly kills the plant it targets and replaces it with a vase. Perfectly fair and balanced. If you want to plant in the tile with a vase again, you have to break it open, and it contains literally any zombie you can have in the vase. By that, I mean Giga-gargantuars are in these things. And the worst part is they're actually in this level themselves, so we need to deal with these guys for the entirety of after the first like as well. Yeah, I don't know, maybe you go try dealing with this catapult zombie that one-shots your plant and puts a Giga-gargantuar in the spot of your tall nut. This level is an absolute pain in the ass to beat, with a combination of the most unfair zombies like contend pea shooters, target zombies, and catapult zombies. Things like just the first few waves suddenly spawning a few gargantuars are simply impossible to defend. You better pray that RNGesus is on your side. Remember, you still need to have 2 Doomshrooms stocked when the first flag hits so you can double Doomshroom the flag zombies, which can steal all your sun within seconds. If you only have 1, the run is just completely dead. There's also another issue, which is the cost of maintenance to even have just garlic lanes of sunflowers is so difficult because of pole vaulters. They will consistently leap over your garlic and destroy them on the spot with a grave, and it just costs too much to consistently replant garlics and blow over pole vaulters back. This attempt, I actually got really lucky as I was able to maintain a good amount of sun and carry on that advantage towards the second half of the level. But just remember Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. I completely forgot that if the same Michael Jackson summons for the 3rd time, it will spawn a bungee ambush. So I doomshroomed as a Michael Jackson summoned a bungee ambush that consisted of, you guessed it, 2 newspaper zombies. I panicked and, yeah, rest is history. Eventually, I had to change from using tall nut stalling. Even though I could stall out contend pea shooter zombies, my sunflowers were still not very safe against backup dancers. That's when I pulled out the twin sunflower. Although being much less cost efficient, it's safer as we can plant them towards the back of our lineup. So even though yes, they are 3 times more expensive, it's worth it, because they're not getting chewed up by pole vaulters, backup dancers, or zombies from bungee ambushes every minute. The strategy here is basically identical to the ones we used previously. Stall out the early game with blowovers and cherry bombs to save up 2 Doomshrooms for the first flag. Making sure all your sunflowers are protected is important to beat the level. Use garlics to push zombies into the middle rows for cherry bomb value during Doomshroom's downtime. Repeatedly spam blowover onto pole vaulters that jump over garlics, and make sure you bring Gravebuster and simply hope that catapult zombies won't spawn too often. I definitely lucked out on this one because it took me about 30 minutes after I figured out I needed to use Twin Sunflower to beat this level because my winning attempt only had one catapult zombie between the two flags, making it significantly easier. And as with all the final waves of every level, make sure you have a Doom Shroom and a Cherry Bomb at the ready to blast off all the flag zombies, then clean up the rest. After 2 hours, this level is finally over as we move on from the terrible design of what is Conan Shooter zombies. 7-7 brings us back to Nighttime Pool. Because this level doesn't have fog, for whatever reason, it's a free flag level. Thankfully, the early game is actually quite easy since it only has basic zombies and walnut zombies. Basically, nothing special will happen in the early game, which is a relief for us to farm up lots of sun early on and get a lot of cattails in preparation for the upcoming onslaught. This level has jalapeno zombies, squash zombies, jack-in-the-box zombies, and digger zombies, all of which threaten to charge at your plants and kill them. Sounds like these zombies are not that big of a deal, but take a look at jack-in-the-box zombies now. In World 7, the variants of Jack-in-the-Box zombies gain an additional special ability. When they don't self-detonate and get killed, they will act as a decoy, not actually threatening the game, but distracts plants and soaks up damage. This ability makes cattails fare much worse against them, since cattails will get distracted targeting the headless decoy until they walk off the screen. The other big bad this level are gargantuars. Thankfully, they're actually not that hard to kill since we have Puff Shroom spam as well as Cattail having ridiculously high damage. The first to second flag is relatively straightforward with just Cattail and instant kill spam, but the problem begins after that point. After the second flag, just like in previous jalapeno zombie levels, these get completely spammed at you after the second flag, making it nearly impossible to stop all of them at once. And slowly but surely, they will wipe out all your plants one row at a time for whichever row you are unable to deal with that one particular time, leading to your eventual demise. The solution is actually not complex at all, and in fact the strategy we need to use is already correct. It's just how we utilize these plants makes the difference between a win and a loss. Against jalapeno zombies, as soon as we see them, we just want to spend an instant kill on them. Don't take any chances or try to greed on getting extra stun, it's not worth trying. Simply use your cherry bomb, squash, potato mine, or jalapeno on them the moment they enter the view, which should safely prevent some producers getting demolished. Doomstream cycling should probably get you through the level to chop down the HP of gargantuars this level, so just do the blowover stalling strategy again. And there we go! Just not taking any chances and playing it extra safe, you can survive the jalapeno zombies as well as a bit of luck of course, for them not to explode immediately. 7-8 is actually the easiest level out of all the World 7 levels. First of all, the zombies in this level do fairly linear things that do not have some RNG element tied to it. The zombies in this level are newspapers, screen doors, pogos, footballs, tunnel zombies, and ladder zombies. First, the early game, this level is definitely the easiest out of all the levels of World 7. It's a pool level, so we only need 2 garlics to divert zombies to 2 ground lanes for the early game. After sacrificing 2 lawnmowers, we have a simple solution to the early game. Because there's only 2 rows to defend after garlic, we just plant tunnels to block off any zombies. Because the only zombies that can appear in the water are basics and tall zombies, cattails are basically completely safe, allowing us to spam them to our heart's desire. Cattails are essentially all the damage we need, as they will deal with pogos and letterheads as well since they will retarget to them when they're sneaking past our plants. The rest of the damage that needs to be made up, well, we just spam Doom Shroom and it's enough to cut down the health of all the zombies for Cattail to clean up. Newspaper zombie won't get killed by a Doom Shroom, but we're still constantly planting more tauntlets to block them off, so make sure you remember to keep planting those. And as for ladder zombies, well, one Doom Shroom removes all ladders at once, so it's basically impossible for ladders to let too many zombies through when we are stocking up Doom Shrooms. Shovel zombies will be easily solved by us using blowover stall until Doom Shroom, which is a foolproof method of stopping them. Just squash, which also counters them. And with that, that's this level over. With 7-8 out of the way, we're in nighttime and now we have...
Oh no!
Yes, the first level where Giga-gargantuars are introduced as naturally spawning zombies. It's a nighttime level, so we also have less sun than usual. For the early game, I first tried a dumb strategy with Hypno Shroom since Hypno Shroom is now actually buffed and better than before, although costing 25 more sun. First, we can push all the zombies into 2 rows again with garlics, and Hypnoshroom are great here since hypnotizing a target zombie will not spawn a bungee ambush. Moreover, when any zombie eats a Hypnoshroom, it now gains a Buckethead if possible, providing reliably sturdy defense in exchange regardless of whichever zombie gets hypnotized. However, the excellent early game collapses at the first lag. Gatling Pea zombies are in this level, so the garlics die very quickly, exposing our sunflowers to Gatling Pea zombies, which will very easily shred up all your sub-producers in moments notice. And before you know it, you have splurged basically all your sun on protecting your sunflowers only for them to still die, and you ran out of sun too quickly to afford any more defenses. Next attempt, I set up a tall nut wall instead, which is very effective since we can still mitigate target zombie variants by using Hypnoshroom, and these tall nuts can take a beating against Gatling Pea zombies. Umbrella Leaf is also pretty necessary this level to prevent the catapult zombies from instantly killing our tall nuts or sunflowers, so make sure to plant those before the first lag comes. We can pretty much survive against everything, but Giga-gargantuars are just so much sturdy compared to regular gargantuars. They survive 4 instant kills and still throw gargantuar imps. They can easily overwhelm us, since it's pretty much impossible to blow-over-stall 5 rows at once, as it takes double the instant kills to deal with these guys compared to normal gargantuars. Plus, it's even more problematic now in World 7 that we also need to spend instant kills on imps, since they instantly stomp any plant they touch half the time and have so much health. That's when it occurred to me that I've forgotten about the most niche plant in the game that was designed as a counter exclusively to Giga-gargantuars, Marigold. Marigold is an instant use plant which slashes the health of zombies down. It affects in a 3x3 area to 25%, which makes it basically just the worst cherry bomb against everything. That is, of course, except Giga-gargantuars, because now in fact you're dealing the equivalent of 3 instant kills at once. I replaced Hypnoshroom in favor of Marigold, which means we will need to deal with bungee ambushes in the early game now. Thankfully, Marigold as a soft counter to bungee ambushes will do fine, as most things would just die to Puffshroom anyways if you slash their health down to 25%. And in fact, Marigold is extremely effective. Just 1 Marigold and 1 Cherry Bomb will eliminate all Giga-gargantuars in the targeted area, so we often only need to stall 1 or 2 rows of Giga-gargantuars with blowovers, making the instant spam strategy viable. Another benefit of using Tall Nut is that they can actually soak up multiple hits from Gargantuars as well as squash zombies, allowing them to soak several hits before your blowover recharges. Just apply everything we've learned about instant spamming from previous levels to deal with flag zombies here, and that should be 7-9, not too bad even with Giga-gargantuars, done. After 7-9 is done, we move on to 7-10, which in this level, you get 500,000 sun to start the level with. And there's only basic zombies. You know what's coming, right? 7-10 is a boss fight. We get a flag before the boss comes in to set up a defense of our choosing. Sun production is irrelevant given you have 500,000 sun. It's basically impossible to run out. And here's the boss, a 150,000 health newspaper zombie boss. First of which, he changed the time to nighttime and made every single plant on the board fall asleep. You can see that all our seed slots were changed to a custom preset selection, giving us 2 mega coffee beans that wake up plants in a 3x3 area. The boss also spawned a crap ton of, I don't know how to describe. A bunch of zombies is all I can say. Fair and balanced, and it looks like we have already lost, only 30 seconds in. Don't be fooled by the fact that you have 500,000 sun. This level is actually incredibly tough and requires a ton of micromanaging. So what's actually going on here? The boss's first ability is the Black Countess here. This is the ability which changes the scene to nighttime and makes all your plants fall asleep. It also simultaneously changes your seed packets to a custom 10 slot preset for the level. You get this weird sprout which transforms into any plant and all these other plants shown here. This is the true final boss of the game, as this one can truly spawn every zombie that it can spawn, all the Zombotanis, diggers, balloons, flag zombies, basically anything. The boss's next ability is the White Hole, a white tomorrow is waiting for us. This changes the scene back to daytime, which there you get a whole new preset of plants and wakes up all plants except mushrooms, but removes a random amount of slots each time. Embraced by the flames of darkness, it disappears is the next ability of the boss. It can instantly wipe out a row of plants using the flames of darkness. Its next ability is to summon an absolute horde of bungee zombies, always in these exact same tiles and in this pattern. And yes, it can spawn all bungee variants as well. These are all its abilities for its first phase. Yes, it has different abilities according to the phase that it is, but for now, that's all it is going to do against us. It doesn't sound very threatening, but the first problem is how are we even supposed to kill all these zombies that it is spawning to start damaging it? That's the first problem we need to solve. And on our second attempt, even though we survived much longer, we actually just died to a gargantuar throwing an imp into our house directly. So we need to analyze how to beat this level with the 2 preset loadouts, because it's virtually impossible to keep our starting lineup alive with the boss breathing fire all over our plants. The first thing that I realized is that every time the boss activates the Black Hunt ability, it will spawn a crap ton of zombies. So the first step is to Doomshroom and Ice Shroom instantly, since that ability actually refreshes all our cooldowns to nothing. Of course, we also need to use the coffee beans on our plants to wake them up from sleeping phase. Daytime is a really important phase to aid in making a strong defense. Daytime is the only time you get access to plant turn, which are super important to double the attack speed of our plants. The other daytime exclusive is Gravebuster, which we must plant a ton immediately to resolve all the gravestones as a result of pole vaulters throughout the level. Noticing all of these is not enough to beat the boss. In fact, we haven't even gotten to phase 2 with just what we're doing right now, spamming plants all over the board. Yes, I said phase 2, because there's actually more than 2 phases of the boss we are yet to experience. The next attempt is where I realized the way to break through all of this. In daytime, we gain access to a yellow Scaredy Shroom. It's actually a completely different plant I didn't even notice. It is now in fact a magnifying grass. The intention of the plant is we're supposed to be using them to whittle down the hit points of the boss by manually kicking, and very much so, with them, we do massive damage against the boss, knocking it down to phase 2. In phase 2, the boss holds a Gatling P-head and gains an ability to start spawning in illusions, gigantic sized zombies that appear to have a ludicrous amount of hit points but actually just disappear after a few seconds to block off the plants from attacking the boss. Also notice, our Gravebuster and Planter are now no longer available to us during daytime, and they have been replaced by gold blooms, basically just plants that do nothing. In this phase, it also summons a bunch of gravestones next to it to prevent you from being able to plant Cherry Bomb to damage it. Shortly thereafter, it also has another ability to summon a grave ambush from the 10 gravestones consisting of basics, coneheads, and bucketed zombies. It will also start shooting melons all over the screen, killing the majority of your plants as they do massive damage against everything. It can also switch it back to nighttime, and now our sprout and one of our mega coffee beans are missing, meaning we can only wake up half the plants, making it significantly harder to handle. Its Flames of Darkness now also affects 2 rows instead of just 1, instantly wiping out 40% of your defense, leaving you to scramble away to defend 2 completely undefended rows. After a while, it will switch scenes again, but this time he's real angry. The boss starts spawning any zombie from the gravestones, and all sorts of zombies will just completely ruin what is remaining of your defense. Catapult zombies, especially that put vases in spot of your plants, makes it immensely frustrating to win because we simply do not have Umbrella Leaf to block them. And quickly, we have completely lost this attempt. I will quickly skip to phase 2 of the fight directly, since there's no point in showing phase 1 again, but basically I tried a few more times and I was still rather unsuccessful. Once the boss starts steamrolling all your plants, there's basically no way to come back from it because the amount of plants you can get slowly trickles down as more and more zombies get spawned. It's just simply not possible to survive against newspaper zombies when you only have like a few plants on the board, and it's too late to try and make a comeback from this dead lost position. So what's the actual key to beating this level? Well, it's to simply focus on hitting the boss as much as you can. Trying to replace the actual plants of our defense is a waste of time. Humans are simply not gods and cannot micromanage everything at once, and it's best to focus on using magnifying grass to keep whittling down the hit points of the boss as fast as possible before everything is completely overrun. Spam click on the magnifying grass to try to get it down to its next phase as soon as possible, and you'll see that it has reached phase 3 once the level progress bar resets. At this phase, it will only be 2 instant kills away from reaching its final form. The sun will be set to 1500 directly, so make sure to use your gold blooms, the sun shrooms, immediately for sun. After the level progress bar is completely filled, it will transform into a regular newspaper zombie with 1500 health and charge towards your house. The best solution to this is just Tallnut, and Tallnut will be able to allow you to safely defend off the boss. And don't break any vases open, because we only need to kill any zombies that are left alive at that moment to beat the true ending of Brutal Mode EX+. That's it for Adventure Mode of Brutal Mode EX+. Next time, we'll be back for the minigame levels in Brutal Mode EX+, which are unsurprisingly even more difficult compared to the ones in Brutal Mode EX, and may even be outright impossible. Remember to subscribe to stay tuned, and thank you to our channel members for supporting the RCCH channel. For now, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.